What is going on, everyone? Phil here, and welcome. Something looks wrong. It might be the lighting. Maybe the lighting's a little too bright. Whatever. Welcome to the Week in Preview. Today is Sunday, May 22nd, 2016. And we had a pretty good week this past week, although admittedly the week didn't turn out exactly how I had thought it would turn out, especially considering how bad one of the games was that I played. But we had great engagement in a lot of stuff that I did this past week, even though it wasn't necessarily all about gameplay. There was a lot of fun stuff to happen. I'll probably review that in just a moment. But this week coming up is also going to be a wide variety of stuff. There's going to be new games. There's going to be edited style videos. It's going to be a good mix that I think is going to jive pretty well. That was the word I was looking for. So I want to obviously outline that for you in this video. In addition, I want to remind everyone a little bit about Patreon, because I have not really focused on that so much in the past week, but we'll be talking a little bit more about that now that we're approaching the end of the month. And I've got some time off coming up. I'm not going to talk too much about that in this video, but I am going to tell you where you can find out about that, because it's going to be kind of like a half week off. It's kind of confusing. I'll explain it a little bit, but let's get to that all in order. So, first of all, this past week, ladies and gentlemen, was an interesting mix, because I finished up Doom, which I really enjoyed playing, by the way, and I reviewed Doom over on my edited video channel, KO Gaming, which you can find at youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. That's how you get to it on YouTube. And also, in addition to Doom, I checked out two games this past week. The first one I checked out was Homefront: The Revolution, and the other one was Fallout Far Harbor, the major expansion, the longest expansion ever for a Fallout game. Unfortunately, Homefront turned out to be terrible. So bad that after 3 hours of playing this broken-ass game that just was incredibly low performance on PlayStation 4, I made a 17-minute video tearing it a new asshole, because I felt so bad for anyone who had gone out and spent their hard-earned money, like me, on a game that was a piece of fucking shit, okay? That video went live on KO Gaming earlier this week. I don't know if you're aware, but over the weekend, the video went viral. I don't know what caused it to go viral, but it did. And the video went from having like maybe 4,000 to 5,000 views all the way to having 10,000, then 22,000, then 44,000. As of right now, I just checked, the video has almost 60,000 views and climbing on KO Gaming. Obviously, by far, the most successful thing I've ever done on KO Gaming this year. I'm happy because I put a lot of, effort and editing into that video, and obviously I want the edited style content on KO Gaming to get a lot of attention. I've gotten something like 1,500 new subscribers, if not more, during the course of this week because of this video. So, obviously, as a direct result of the success of the edited stuff on KO Gaming, I'm going to do some edited stuff this week, which we're going to talk about in a moment. I think you're going to like what I have in store for you, okay? But if you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend you do. It has like, at this point, I think it has like over 1,500 likes and crazy amounts of comments, and it's interesting to see how when one random video somehow goes viral for whatever reason, how popular it can get and how it can bring attention, because that's exactly how I got popular on YouTube the first time around, back in 2008, 2009, 2010. My videos would somehow show up in a search engine and go viral, and a ton of people would watch them and start talking about my stuff, and it seems to have happened again, only on a completely different YouTube channel than the one that I usually focus on. So check it out, okay? Now, I also played Fallout Far Harbor DLC. It lasted almost around 14 hours of gameplay, and I did finally get a chance to complete that today. So now let's talk about what you're going to see in the next week, because it's going to be pretty interesting, I think, okay? It's a little bit of a different week than a normal week, so allow me to explain. Tonight, I'm obviously doing the Week in Preview. That's it. Tonight, after I finish the Week in Preview, I'll actually be watching the WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I still call it pay-per-view, even though technically they make their revenue off of the WWE Network now. I'll be watching that event, and if I have any thoughts, I'll be sharing those on Twitter. At they call me DSP. I almost screwed up. Social media, very important, for my business, but also just for me to share my thoughts with all of you. So please, if you're interested in that, I may be sharing my thoughts on social media tonight, okay? Tomorrow, Monday, a very different day than a typical day, because there will not be a live stream starting at noon Pacific time. Usually, I live stream around noon Pacific for around 4 hours, and then later on in the day, I might or might not live stream. Maybe I'll do an offline session of gameplay, or I'll do an edited video. It's the complete opposite tomorrow. It's being flipped, okay? No live stream, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to make an edited video. It's going to be my thoughts or a kind of mini review of the Fallout 4 Far Harbor DLC that I played for the past 4 days. So I'll be kind of summarizing everything that's in the DLC. I'll explain what I liked, what I didn't like, and I don't know if I'll give it a number score because it is a DLC, but maybe I'll at least explain whether or not you should check it out or not, okay? So that'll be going live on KO Gaming tomorrow during the daytime. Also, I received my loot crate for the month of May over the course of the weekend. Now, I didn't have time to do anything with it this weekend, so tomorrow I'll be filming that, okay? And I'm going to release it sometime this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not going to be releasing it tomorrow. Why? Because I'm actually going to try to film a third vlog tomorrow, wherein I'm going to explain to everyone, in a couple weeks, my parents will actually be coming from the East Coast, flying in here to Washington State to spend some time with me and Leanna, but also to help out with stuff around the house, and also to go out and have some fun together. So it's kind of like a triple purpose trip, okay? What I want to do is outline how the trip's going to work, the dates, how it's going to work, because there's a new release during that week, and yes, I am going to be playing the game, but it might not be as in-depth coverage as I normally would do for a new release because my parents will be here, but there will be an increase in vlogging that week because of that, so I'm going to outline all of that in a special video that I release tomorrow, so that way people will know 2 weeks ahead of time what to expect, not that all of a sudden in June this week hits, and where's Phil? He's not live streaming, where's the gameplay, where's the videos? You'll know what's going on because I'll have made the video to explain ahead of time, alright? So, tomorrow, first half of the day, my mini review of the Fallout Far Harbor DLC on KO Gaming. I'll be recording the Loot Crate unboxing, but we'll be releasing that later this week on the King of Hate Vlogs. But right here on the King of Hate Vlogs, you will see a special video explaining this upcoming visit from my parents so you know what to expect, alright? Very nice. Now, the reason I said that Monday is the opposite of a normal day is because there is a new release tomorrow. It's Overwatch on the PlayStation 4, if that's the console I'm getting it on. And it's being released early. Like, it was supposed to be originally released on Tuesday. They're now releasing it on Monday, and they're opening the servers, I believe they said at like 5 p.m. Pacific time or something like that. Now, of course, you know exactly what's going to happen. At 5 p.m., everyone will try to play Overwatch at once, and there'll be queues, and people will be getting dropped from the servers, and it's going to take probably a couple hours for it to settle. I've decided to do a launch night stream of Overwatch, okay? It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, if it works. If it doesn't work and the servers aren't working, oh well, then it'll have to wait till Tuesday. But I'd like to do a launch night stream of Overwatch. Now, for those of you who watched my stuff earlier this month, you know I already played Overwatch. I played the beta the first week of May. But from all reports, this final version of the game really doesn't have much new from the beta besides unlimited play, obviously. It's not just limited to a couple days. And it may have a few more game modes that the original, you know, that game didn't have when I played the beta. It has more online competitive modes. So, really, what I'd like to do with Overwatch this week, and I'm tossing this out to all of you. I hope that you're listening and, you know, you're interested, because this is going to be more of a different thing than what I'm used to doing, alright? Usually for a multiplayer game, what I would do is play it for a day or two, alright, whatever, and that's it, and I move on. Here's what I would actually like to do with Overwatch, quite honestly. What I'd like to do is every day when I go to play it, have the stream chat open and say, hey, how's everyone doing? You know, so what should I do tonight in Overwatch? Do you want to see me focus in on the 3 characters that I did really well with in the beta, who were Bastion, Reinhardt, and Symmetra? Would you like to see me try to get even better with them? Or did you have enough of that and you want to possibly see me mix it up with some other characters? What characters would you like to see me play? Do you have any strategies to suggest with these characters? Because I only got to play with that certain characters out of all 21, maybe once or twice. So maybe some people know some better stuff for these characters than what I figured out in the few matches that I had, and they could share that knowledge with me. It's going to be a more stream interactive experience this week when I'm playing Overwatch, okay? And I want to make that clear. It's not just going to be like I'm here isolated playing game by myself. No, it's multiplayer. It should be more interactive, in my opinion. It should be different than me doing like a single player narrative style playthrough. I don't need to do witty commentary every second, but I would like to try to learn a lot more of this game, and it's going to be interaction with the stream chat that I think is going to help me more than anything, okay? So, Monday night's going to be like that. I may just listen to stream chat, who do you want to see me play? And if the majority are suggesting a certain character, and they say, oh, there's a strategy with this ability that they have, or on this map is really good for sniping, try that, I may do it, alright? So that's how I'd like Overwatch to go this week. So, Monday night, Overwatch stream. It'll be either at least 2, if not 3 hours long, but it all depends on how things go with the servers on launch night. Tuesday, I'm going to leave this in the hands of the viewers, all right? Tuesday, there is another new release, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, this is a game by Platinum Games, the same people that made games such as Bayonetta, games like, what was that, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and more recently, last year, they made the Transformers game. However, it needs to be said that people that made the Transformers game are not the same people who made this Turtles game. It was a different portion of the Platinum Games dev team, so it's not going to be the same style of game, all right? From what I'm to understand, Ninja Turtles is four-player co-op at all times. Now, if you don't do four-player co-op, you can switch between the turtles and control them all on the fly, but obviously it makes more sense to do co-op in this game. And it's online co-op only, by the way. It's not like I could have a friend over and we could do this. It's online co-op only. I am looking, seriously, for if there are people who are going to buy this game on PlayStation 4 this week, who are very seriously interested in doing cooperative gameplay with me, all right? Obviously, you know what times I usually stream. Around noon Pacific time, and then if I do stream at night, it's around 7 p.m. Pacific time, okay? You know my time frames. You know, usually it's around a 3 to 4 hour first stream, a 2 hour second stream. Based off of feedback of, number one, of people who are serious and want to play with me, with co-op for this game. Apparently, from what I've heard, there's like 7 to 8 or 9 missions that are, and they're all like anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes long each. So you're not talking a super long game. You're probably talking like 5-6 hours tops, okay? I would consider doing co-op with people, but I need to know who's available. You know, if you're available, you can contact me many different ways. Email me, darksidefell@hotmail.com. You could tweet me, @theycallmeDSP, but I don't know with the amount of tweets that I get if I'm going to be able to see it. You could try private messaging me. Some people already have my information on places like the forums or on Patreon. You could try private messaging me there, all right? And hopefully what I'd like to do is possibly do a cooperative playthrough of that game this week. If not, I'll play it by myself, but it would be nice if I could coordinate a couple people who kind of have a similar schedule than me and want to jump in with the playthrough, all right? So, I'm going to leave it in the hands of the viewers. I'm going to make a poll on Monday night on Twitter. Do you want to see me play Ninja Turtles or more Overwatch on my longer gameplay stream, the earlier one on Tuesday? And based off of the voting, that's what's going to happen, okay? Now, my goal this week is to balance Ninja Turtles with Overwatch. So every day I'm playing each game, but maybe I'm splitting the days, all right? Now, here's what I would like to do. By the end of this week, I would like to have gotten enough gameplay in of Overwatch that I could maybe do a few videos on either like a tips video. Here's some tips for Overwatch that I discovered after playing for the launch week. Or if I've played with certain characters enough, I'd like to actually do like basic tutorial videos. Like, I'll be honest with everyone, after playing the beta, I really feel that right now I could make a tutorial video on either Bastion, Reinhardt, or Symmetra, or all of them. Make one video for each. But I haven't played the game now in 3 weeks. It would be nice to have a nice refresher before I think to do something like that. But that's the kind of stuff I want to do for KO Gaming. That's the kind of stuff I wanted to do for KO Gaming months ago with Street Fighter V, but because Street Fighter V had such terrible connectivity issues the launch week, and I didn't get to play nearly as much as I wanted to, it went by the wayside. And I said, fuck it. You know, unlike everyone else who played Street Fighter V and went nuts for it, I had other stuff to do. So I didn't have time to drop everything and play it for 4 weeks straight so I could finally get this stuff working. No, I had other stuff to play. With Overwatch, it's kind of my focus this week. So I definitely like to see if people are interested in that. So my goal is, if I play, 3-4 sessions of Overwatch this week, maybe by the end of this week, I can put out a few videos like that on KO Gaming, all right? In addition, once Ninja Turtles finishes, I'm obviously going to review it, okay? So that'll be a review for KO Gaming. I'm actually probably not going to review Overwatch. What I probably will do, if after playing it for the week, I have like a thoughts or an updated thoughts video on what I think about the game now that it's retail released, I'll probably do that. But I've already did kind of an impressions video on Overwatch earlier this month. You can see that on KO Gaming right now if you want to. It's live. And if this really is the same game, I don't know what I could really add too much to it from what I initially said, simply because if it's the same game, there's not even that many there's no new characters, and there might not be any new features, then what additionally am I really going to have to say about it? You know what I mean? So that's the goal for this week. Getting stuff done on Monday before Overwatch launches, special, Overwatch launch night stream, playing Overwatch and Ninja Turtles all week, balancing them every day, possibly doing co-op in Ninja Turtles, doing more interactive stream kind of stuff when I play Overwatch all week, and then by the end of the week, putting out a few edited style videos for KO Gaming. I think this could really work, especially, like I said, with the momentum I have on KO Gaming right now. I have thousands of people watching the videos on there that never watched them before, because, by the way, that Homefront video, sure, it brought in some almost 60,000 views, But the views spilled over into a few other videos, like my Doom review and my Uncharted review, and those are getting thousands of additional views as well. So now is the time, right? Strike when the iron is hot. If I'm going to put in effort into that channel, now would be the time, and hopefully it takes off, okay? So that's my goal for this week. Near the end of this week, I'll have to see if there's a new DSP Trizit available. I'm not sure yet. During the weekend, I don't know. Here's the thing. Next week, we've got the Witcher 3 DLC. It's called, what was it, Blood and Wine, I believe. And also, there's the new One Piece Burning Blood game. I've heard the Witcher 3 DLC is like 30 hours long, if you do all the content. If you just do the story, it's probably a lot shorter than that, a la maybe the realm of 10 to 15 hours long, but apparently there's so many side missions and so much stuff in this DLC, people are saying it's 30-some hours long. Do I really think that, number one, all people are going to want to see that last week of May into June is going to be Witcher 3? No. Number two, if I did play all Witcher 3, I'd be missing out on this One Piece game, which is a game that I've never played before. Plus, at the end of that week, so we're talking around maybe June 3rd, I think that's it's Friday, June 3rd. I'm going to be doing my Indie Games Marathon for Patreon. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Patreon. People who pledge to my Patreon, I always point the wrong way. People who pledge to my Patreon, there it is, in the month of April, have nominated a ton of indie games for me to participate in during this Indie Games Marathon that's going to happen probably right now on June 3rd, okay? Tonight, right when I'm done with this video, I'm creating the poll on thekingofhate.com by which those same patrons from April will now be voting on the most highly nominated games. Games such as Rocket League, Salt and Sanctuary, Hotline Miami 2, and that's just a few of the ones I pulled out of my butt that I saw on the thread. There's tons of them, so what I have to do right now is make a list and say, okay, this one was voted this many times, this one was nominated this many times, and make an actual poll. So patrons, as of tonight, you'll be able to vote on thekingofhate.com, so get to voting on that, all right? The other thing is that this month, the big thing for patrons for May is that if you pledge $5 or more, all right, and we hit our funding goal, which we've hit every month so far, so I feel kind of positive we can do it this month, there will be a special multiplayer event for patrons in July. It will be multiple days. It'll span multiple games, such as Overwatch, Doom, Uncharted 4, Street Fighter 5. It looks like we may be adding Rocket League and maybe adding Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, if possible, okay? And if you pledge $5 or more, you can participate in gameplay with me online, where it's a specialized private environment. It's not like anyone can just join and ruin it by trolling or anything like that. It'll be a much better experience than previous fan appreciation multiplayer events that I've had. In this case, it's going to be a patron appreciation multiplayer event. I think it's going to be a lot better, all right? But the thing is, you have to pledge, and you have to pledge by the end of this month. So right now it's the 22nd. You got a little bit over a week left. I hope we hit the goal, because this is something completely different from what I usually do on Patreon. I really would like to see it be successful. So that's why I'm mentioning it in this video, so that people get the word out. Gee, you want to play multiplayer with Phil? You never had a chance before, or you tried before, you couldn't get in, or maybe you did try, but then you had a bunch of idiots who were trolling and ruined the whole experience. Going to be completely different if this event happens, but we have to hit the funding goal. So please consider pledging at patreon.com/darksydephil in the next week or so, all right? That is it. It's going to be a fun week. I'm excited. I hope you're excited for the variety between Overwatch and Ninja Turtles and the special videos I'll be making based off of those games. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Now, special thanks to the April patrons that made all this possible. And I will see you next week, where we'll be talking about the end of the month, heading into June. Please watch the special video here tomorrow about my upcoming parents' visit, because it's going to have a lot of information you're going to want to know about June. All right. That's it, everyone. Peace out. Thank you. See you for all the new stuff this week.